This is the file that is called when the program is stopped. For example, if I want to activate a game, here I call the game. Now I want to constantly check that it's alive. I do some manner of command to check if the game is still running. This is what we have here. This is the echo of the monitoring that is constantly now going on the terminal. Now, if for some reason we want to stop, this will command. The cat stop will hold the commands. What happens when the cluster fails? What happens when the cluster stops? For example, closing the game properly. This is important because this is actually where I define what I want my cluster to do. I mean, the cluster itself works automatically, but we want it to do various things. For example, backup our site, backup our game, backup our server. We want to define those things somewhere. This is where we define it. I'm not going to focus on it for now. We just need to know that it exists, and we will now go for more important matters. For example, the second VM. Yeah, this is important. I will ignore this. Well, let's enter the terminal and start here as well. It appears I missed it on the first try. Well, never mind. Alright, so exactly the same. I want to recognize this IP address. And as I call the exe file, well, here we go. You see, right now it didn't wait in the entire heartbeat because it immediately recognized there is another computer inside the network. And it said, alright, I can recognize that this computer is main, so I will go on standby. And as you can see, it outputs very important things. Previously, we could see that it only output mi main. As you can see here, the loop asks mi main. It tells him that it doesn't. So it asks mi on standby. It goes into the standby loop. Each loop, it asks itself, goes into standby. Now it checks if there are more than 2 nodes. It checks if this device and the other device is still running to check if it needs to become main. And then it repeats the loop. Now, this is a basic standby intermission loop of the node. There isn't much to see here really. It's just that. Now, what we do want to see, more importantly, is what we previously showed. It's the var run. Well, here I previously showed you, as you can see, once we began, a fryingyam began here too. A file called fryingyam is created. Voila. Well, you can see there are 2 computers. Our previous computer, Ubuntu, is running, and this one called Ubuntu is on standby. Both still contain the time of day. As you can see, it constantly updates. 31, 48, 51. It reports the status. This is good because this tells us what every node sees in the others. For example, one node knows that this is running, this is on standby. This is important. We'll soon show why. But this is important if we want to do, as we said before, a command desk, something that will be cluster aware, something that will be aware of the situation of the cluster as a whole. Each cluster also knows the status. This is what I want to show. Well, now let's go into the main feature. The main feature of a cluster is its failback. The failback is what I talked about. One program stops, the other begins. Well, this is for now. This computer is on the standby, so let's go to the main. Now we'll forcefully stop it. As you can see, I killed it. It went into stopping, which means it went into can't stop. The shell service I showed you before. It stopped all the echoing there, and it killed itself. Now, as you can see, it delayed not and immediately went into the main. Now, here it's also monitoring and checking if it's on main on standby. Now, as you can see, it's running here. And let's show a more important thing. It's running here and it's aware that the other computer, the Ubuntu, has timed out. It tells us the time that it stopped receiving the messages from him. This is using UDP messages, but since it's a closed network, it's not very important. It's very fast, very easy. Let's see here what it says. You can see here that this actually tells us nothing. It's the last time it was aware of itself, and now nothing is happening. This is very important because if another computer is reaching out to check its status and it can see that here nothing is updated for a while, it can immediately realize that this stopped running. So we have a great potential here for a cluster aware program. Outside the fact that it's already very basic cluster running cluster program, it's very easy. It's fully automatic. I mean, if you want to expand on it even more, we can. This is the entire point of me showing you this. And well, that's about all the basic functionality of the cluster. Yeah, this is exactly what we want. I can show you that if we begin this anew and we go here to kill this, we will immediately, well, not immediately, after certain checking and heartbeat, this will begin working as well. This is important because we don't really want this to stop. I mean, you are aware, you get some kind of message that this node has died, and you restart it and you start the shell program again and everything runs okay, and you don't need to touch it until the other computer dies. So this is very fluid. This is working very well. Both of them can become main. Both of them can go on standby once they realize another one is main. I believe this can go up to 3 or more computers. I didn't try, but this is very basic. This is a very basic program. This is something to remember. Now, let me have a finishing word here. This program it's good. When I got this, I won't lie, it was in shambles. I mean, whoever did this knew what he was doing, but he didn't test it properly. So this one, as far as you can see, works flawlessly on Ubuntu. It might have been something with him building it for Solaris, but I didn't try it on Solaris, so I can't really say if he built it universal enough. Probably not, if I had to do so much fixing. But this will work. This will work on Linux systems. I'm quite assured of it. Well, I have with me installation files that I wrote. Installation file for dummies. Since, again, I have to say that this program is something, but the guy who wrote it, who wrote the readmes and the installation, assumed that people know about cluster, about IP, about networking. Now, I really didn't know anything before starting this, so I wrote an installation for dummies, and this will be for people who just want to install this and know what to modify and have limited knowledge of shell file scripting. Really, shell scripting is pretty much all you'll need if you'll follow my instructions, and this is a good thing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is to say that if there are any questions regarding this, regarding installation, regarding anything, you can email me, and I'll answer. I'll be glad to answer. I'll be glad to questions of any kind. Well, this is everything for now. So I hope you enjoyed, and